So a lot of your work also talks about this relationship between white supremacy, misogyny, and racism. And you connect it all to this kind of imperial politics. I was wondering if you can kind of break that down for us as a way of understanding how these deeply problematic and violent ideas survive and support each other.
Well, it is so interesting. I just want to make clear that it has been an intellectual struggle for me to deal with the relationships of race and sex and class. And I can't remember which book it was, but I do say I'm not using and anymore. And makes them separate, And then I said, so I'm going to make up words, racialized patriarchy, misogynist racism, so that we see that they really connect with one another. And in the articulation of seeing those relationships, and the silencing of them, for me as a white woman, I did a huge amount of study of chattel slavery as the kind of the root of so much of capitalism in the U.S. And of course, it is interesting. Slavery is thought of as a racist system, but it truly is as sexist or as misogynist as it is racist, because the whole definition of the black enslaved woman was as a breeder. She had no status as a mother. So just the difference of how misogyny plays out and the inseparableness of it. Particularly Barbara Smith, who I worked with, who is one of the authors of Combahee River Collective. When we worked together, we were at a panel someplace, and someone asked her, so Barbara, what's more problematic for you, being black or being a woman? And she sat there for a minute, and then she just said, well, I'm always both. Can't answer, So the idea of just... But I've had to work hard. I will not answer certain questions anymore because I feel like they don't help me with the difficult merging of these systems. And for a long time, when Marxists used to ask me to defend my feminism, I decided that I would never get to where I wanted to go if I was constantly being pulled back to the old questions. So I would say that to people who are struggling, don't be intimidated by the questions that are asked you. Make your own questions so that you can come up with new answers. We don't need the old questions anymore. If they were really good, we wouldn't still be asking them. I really don't.
Are there any other questions that you no longer answer?
Oh, I think a lot. I really, it has really freed me. It took me a long time to just say, no, I don't really want to say why feminism is better than this. What I can answer you is how feminism is part of these other struggles and then also I think that oftentimes when people are challenging you, the questions they are asking you are not the most helpful for you to become more intelligent. So particularly if you're a young woman, be careful about who gets to occupy your mind,
I think that's a pretty phenomenal advice, because right now things that occupy me are Trump and his misogyny, and I feel it takes so much of my time that the only emotion that I feel these days is anger.